Salutations, everybody. I am TheMightyMander, and I'm back at school, which means no more phone quality videos. I've got my webcam back. You know, being on break gave me a lot of time to think, and I've come to the conclusion that there are a fuck ton of games out there. Seriously, does anybody even have time to even come close to playing all the games that are out there? I mean, obviously not, otherwise we wouldn't be having this conversation now, would we? I mean, I try my best, but even someone with my level of skills, not that I mean to brag or anything, can admit that it's a losing battle. Hell, when I was younger, I stuck to maybe 20 or so of my favorite games, played the absolute shit out of them to the point of exhaustion, and ignored pretty much everything else. Entire franchises went by the wayside while I just sat there playing Mass Effect 2 and beating it for the 11th time. I'm serious about that, by the way. Recently, though, I've been looking to expand my horizons. So, in dedication to my immense fear of change and my refusal to step out of my gaming comfort zone, I'm counting down today the top 10 franchises that I have never touched. These franchises can be from any era, any console, and have any number of entries. I'll be ranking them by both how many games are included and how excited I am personally to give them a try. The only limitation to this list is that up to this point, I can't have played any more than one in any franchise, and I can't have beaten any. So now that all that's out of the way, lovely. Anyways, let that countdown begin. Number 10. Oh, I can already tell what a grand old time this'll be. And it's only gonna get worse from here. Anyways, I'm kind of bending the rules for this one because I've actually played the third BioShock game about a third of the way through, and you know what? That game is fucking awesome. I have no idea why I didn't finish it. That being said, why have I not played the first two? Honestly, I have no fucking idea, because they look awesome. I love the sort of sci-fi noir look of them and the whole underwater thing going on with Rapture. There really aren't very many single-player focused first-person shooters out there, at least not big console releases like this one, which is a shame. And unfortunate for me because it's one of my favorite genres. Also, probably due to them being out for so long, I already know the big twist at the end of the first BioShock. Doesn't really deter me too much though. Needless to say, I'll definitely be giving the other entries in the series a try in the near future. Not too far out of my comfort zone, and it should be a very interesting experience. Number 9. Fire Emblem was the most recent entry I added to this list, and basically, my relationship with Fire Emblem can be summed up as follows. Fire Emblem is an infectious disease that's slowly taking over the Smash Bros. Character roster. Corrin? Who the fuck are you? I don't mind you, Bayonetta, you're cool, even though I've never played your games either, but who is Corrin? That spot was supposed to go to Shovel Knight, you stupid motherfucker! Who will dig into the competition now? Okay, I know that Corrin is the protagonist and the playable character from the upcoming Fire Emblem Fates, but the point still stands. What kind of shady backroom deal does Sakurai have going on with Intelligent Systems that merits having 18 of their goddamn characters living it up in their own VIP section of the Smash Bros. Roster? I doubt I'll delve very deep into their backlog of Japan-only titles, if at all, but I'll probably give Fates a try when it comes out, or at least one version of it. You see this? You see this? Stop! Stop doing this! Think I eat diamonds and poop golden rainbows or some shit, Nintendo? No! No! That's not how it works! I'm just a man, you hear? Whatever. Fire Emblem. I'll probably play the new one. Mighty Mander 2016. Great stuff. Number 8. Back in 2011, when it came out, I played Skyrim for about an hour. About 45 minutes of which were spent creating my character, then I started playing, got very confused, promptly died, put the game away, and haven't played it again for 4 years. Bit weird considering that Fallout 3 and now Fallout 4 are two of my favorite games of all time, huh? Isn't Skyrim just sort of medieval fantasy Fallout with dragons and shit in it? Yeah, sums it up perfectly. Nothing to read into there. Anyways, I guess it's just because I've personally just always been way more into sci-fi than fantasy. Plus, back then, when I played a game, I needed an objective at any given time to keep me interested. Being dropped into the huge, jam-packed open world of Skyrim was more than a little overwhelming. And it's not just Skyrim, as the nature of this list would suggest. I've never played even a minute of Oblivion, Morrowind, Daggerfall, or the Elder Scrolls Arena, though I doubt many people other than PBG have actually played that one.
Cool.
But that was then. I'm older now, wiser, more mature, more open-minded, and maybe, just maybe, if I've got, let's say 900 hours or so to kill, I'll pick up Skyrim again, and maybe I'll like it this time. Number 7. Here's what I know about God of War thus far. You play as Kratos. Kratos was with wife and child. Kratos is no longer with wife and child. This makes Kratos very angry. Kratos remains angry throughout the entire game. And then the next game. And then the next. and then the handheld games, and then the prequel, the likely 4th game, and so on. Angry Kratos likes to vent his anger and kill people that should, by all accounts, be unkillable, aka the gods of fucking Olympus. This makes Kratos happy. Kratos also seems to have a raging blood fetish. Anyways, I know exactly why I've never played these games. This is fucking gross. I used to think it was gratuitous, and, well, it is. But now this looks like just the kind of cinematic action set-piece packed experience that would be right up my alley. And I recently picked up the collection pack of all 3 main series titles plus the handhelds on PS3, so I won't have to go too far out of my way to catch up on what I've missed. Not sure if these are really the, kick your feet up and relax sort of games, though. Oh well. Still looks like some brutal, bloody fun. Number 6. Fighting robot, Mega Man. Ah, the good old blue bomber. How I've neglected you. So this is another franchise that so far my only exposure to it has been through Smash Bros. And Mega Man is probably one of my favorite fighters in that game. He controls really well, and his attacks are really rewarding to pull off. Hell, if Classic Man controls anything like this, I don't think I have anything to worry about. OG Mega Man was way before my time. I don't usually stray too far before the PS1 and N64 eras, and even then, it's only for classics like Mario and Zelda, and maybe in the near future, Mega Man. I recently picked up the collection packs for both the original Mega Man and Mega Man X franchises, and I can't wait to give them a try. I have to say that Mega Man X appeals a bit more to me personally, at least graphically, and the notorious difficulty of the classic series turns me off a bit, but it won't deter me enough to skip the series entirely. I look forward to giving it a try in the near future. Number 5. Okay, so up until very recently, I was never able to see the appeal in the Sonic franchise. From what I could see, none of his games were good enough to be worth playing, and Sonic, as a character, was kind of an asshole. And not really a likable, wisecracking asshole like they seem to be going for, just a fucking asshole.
So what, he's gonna burn me with flamethrowers or something?
Flamethrower? No.
Oh, acid? Incendiary grenades?
No. The claws. Yes, claws. Very painful claws.
Well, then you should have called him Clawbot, or Delacerator, or Pinchatron 9000, but Burnbot. I mean, that's just false advertising.
But a couple weeks ago, while at a friend's house, I was handed a controller to the first stage of Sonic Adventure 2. And I hesitate to admit that I may have seen the light. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I do admit that I can see the appeal now, at least from a nostalgic point of view. I'm still not exactly eager to play most of the other titles though, save for a few like Generations. But I'm planning a new series on my channel that will enable me to look at entire franchises at once, and I will do the Sonic franchise for a milestone special on my channel at some point. What that point is, I haven't decided yet. I guess you'll just have to stick with me to find out. Number 4. Big shock! Another franchise that I don't fucking understand at all. Honestly, the chronology of Final Fantasy is so complex it seems like it was made out of its own fanfiction. 13-2? 13-2? And look at all these other ones. Crisis Core, Type 0, The Revenant Wings, World of Final Fantasy? I don't mean to shit on anybody's dreams or anything, but like, you must be able to understand how weird this looks from an outside perspective. And if you needed any more evidence as to why this series is so confusing for me, just look at these 3 trailers. They all look exactly the same. I couldn't even tell them apart when I was gathering them for this video. Anyways, as far as Final Fantasy goes, it's this far up the list for a few reasons. 1, because of the sheer amount of titles under its moniker, and 2, because of Final Fantasy VII. You guys may already be able to tell I'm a huge PlayStation fan, and it's practically a prerequisite to love Final Fantasy VII if you want to call yourself one of those. And sorry guys, I have no real interest in going back to the original, at least not right now. RPGs really aren't my thing, and turn-based combat and jarring graphics don't really do anything to convince me. But lo and behold, a PS4 remake has just been announced. Of course, you probably already knew that, considering the entire internet exploded into a cloud of nostalgia tears and furious masturbation when they announced it at E3 this year. I gotta say guys, this game looks awesome. I'm not sure if this combat is turn-based or active time or whatever the fuck else it would be, but the trailer has me pretty much sold. I can't say whether or not it'll be good or faithful to the original, but it definitely has me interested. Number 3? Further and further down the rabbit hole we go. I have heard to no end, constant bullshit, for never playing Pokemon. And you know what? I may have actually played it by now if that hadn't been happening. Around every corner, it's always, oh my god, you never played Pokemon? And oh my god, did you even have a childhood? Newsflash. Yes, I had a damn childhood. It just happened to not have fucking Pokemon in it. Sorry guys, I know how much this one means to most people, and I have no problem with it. In fact, Pokemon is pretty much too cute to hate. Again, this one is this far up the list because of the sheer number of titles I've missed out on, but also because of its cultural impact. It's not often that a franchise stays alive for 20 odd years and entertains 3 generations of fans, or 5 console generations if you want to look at it that way. I'll definitely get to Pokemon eventually. Where to start though? Therein lies the problem. Number 2. Next we take a look at a fallen giant. I've never been too much of a fan of the survival horror genre. In fact, the farthest I've ventured into it really is this past year's Bloodborne, though I'm not even sure if it would even count. Actually, you know what? It's balls hard, the enemies and setting are fucking terrifying. Bloodborne counts. Fuck you. Anyways, I consider Resident Evil a fallen giant because of just how poorly received most of its recent titles have been. Apparently, 5 was okay, 6 was a fucking disaster, and now the future of the franchise is completely in the balance. So, when the future looks grim, we look to the past for reassurance. I think to ease myself into this franchise, I should start with what is largely considered to be the best in the series, and possibly one of the best survival horror games of all time, which is Resident Evil 4. Although, I must admit that I may even be more interested to check out the original trilogy. I'm kind of itching for a real challenge, and the original game's fixed camera angles and grueling difficulty curves seem like they would suit that quite nicely. Though, the notorious campiness and B-movie quality of the very first game may be a bit too much for me to handle, so I'll probably see if I can get my hands on the remake. I've heard it's a better game anyway. And the number 1 game franchise that I have never touched is... What? I hear you ask. Metal Gear Solid, the number 1 franchise you've never touched? But there's only 5 games. That's not nearly as many as Pokemon's. Well, you may be right about that. But I don't really care. It's my list. Nah, but seriously though, Metal Gear Solid looks fucking awesome. Cinematic stealth shooters with more convoluted stories than a Wachowski film and some of the best writing ever to come from the other side of the pond? Count me the fuck in. Kojima, you miracle of a man, I love you. Fuck Konami. Yes, I'm jumping right on that fucking bandwagon because fuck Konami. Damn bloodsuckers. This is another franchise that I recently picked up a legacy collection for, and it includes every single title up to MGS4, and that includes handhelds. And I cannot wait to give them a try. As you may be able to tell from the other entries on this list, I am a huge fan of cinematic action games, and that legacy collection will no doubt give me upwards of 100 hours of entertainment. It was definitely one of the best buys I've ever found, and I'd highly recommend picking it up if you've got the means. Well guys, did I embarrass myself enough with this list? I think I probably did. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you played any of these franchises? Did you like them? Did you dislike them? Have you never played them? If you've never played them, do you think you're going to in the future, or do you think that maybe you're just going to continue to give them a wide berth? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Peace.